Hey everyone, welcome back to Sword of Mana. Since the last time I recorded this game, which was several days ago, I love coming back from hiatus. Anyway, since the last time, I found Niccolo, which I'm not going to need anymore, but anyway, since last time I've done a few things off-screen in an attempt to make this next part of the game a little bit more streamlined. First and foremost, I got Duke through the entire next part of the game, so that I can make it a little bit easier for later recording, because I only really need to switch to him for this chapter once. And pretty much for the next couple of, well, I guess you'd call them chapters, but pretty much for the next several areas of the game, I'm going to be using Elena and her partner for that. Now, because of that, Duke is a fairly high level, but you may also notice from here that Elena is level 34 at this point. I did some off-screen grinding in the area above me right now. Did a little bit of sequence breaking in order to do that, but that's just because that area is very good for grinding. And I'll show that area off when I go there. But she's level 34, and that's only to make the next part as streamlined as possible. As you can see, Bogart's also level 36. Holy cow, he's a beast right now. But I only did the grinding in order to make the next area as streamlined as possible. If you're level 30 or 31 at this point, you're probably very well set at this point. I just did it so that I can make it through this area fairly easily without having to worry too much. So that was the first two things, and I did something else, but I completely forgot what that something else was, besides not record for several days. Regardless, we are heading north to the Miasma Glen. Well, it was the Miasma Glen, but now it's just a glen, I guess, because there's no miasma around anymore. That kind of sucks for this area. New enemies around here include the Assassinates. They are BB ripoffs, and they hurt a lot more than BBs, so weak to Jin though, so hit them with it and you should be much better off. They deal some decent damage, but considering the fact that Elena has the fossil hats to back her up and all that stuff, I think she'll be fine. So, reason why I want to make this area slightly streamlined, I'm going to beat some enemies, but that's just because of the fact that I want to get Elena to 36 by the time I get to the ending destination of this area, which is has nothing to do with this glen itself. But anyway, stop that jerk. Okay, that was stupid. Hang on a sec. Let me switch a little bit. I'm more used to attacking with the Nux. Here you go. Yeah, how do you like that? All three of you can go ahead and die. And your little friend, too. I'm not even going to bother picking up the treasure chests anymore, really, with Elena, because she only has like 2 OKs, 1 OK, and the enemies in here start getting exorbitant with their the damage output that they do with the treasure chests, at least by comparison to the regular damage that they can do. Oops, forgot I was controlling the Nux there for a second. Come here, all three of you. Wow, I totally whiffed these guys. So anyway, I've got something to talk about that will probably take up several minutes here, because I wanted to have something fairly long-winded to talk about, because of the fact that we're going to be running around and doing some dungeon crawling for quite a while actually now. More than I feel comfortable with just talking about the game itself, so I tried to wait to do this until I had something decent to talk about, which, as it turns out, I did have something decent to talk about several days ago, but I forgot that I didn't want to do this part with Duke, which was when I did it with Duke. I wanted to do it with Elena, so that kind of screwed me up a little bit. Do I want to go this way? No, I don't. Okay, let's head back this way then. So anyway, for Christmas this year, if you saw my update, my most recent update, you may at this point understand that I probably got Soul Calibur 4 for Christmas, and that would be true. We did get Soul Calibur 4 for Christmas, and I know what you're thinking. Didn't that game come out in 2008? Why are you getting it now? Well, I was a deprived child. I would tell you my story, but that would be even more long-winded than what I'm about to tell you. So anyway, we got Soul Calibur 4 for Christmas this year, among other things we got. I got a bunch of snowboarding gear, which was pretty cool. I needed some stuff anyway, so I figured I'd ask for it for Christmas. Yeah, you just go to work there, Bogart. But anyway, for Soul Calibur 4, the thing with that is that it's a lot different than Soul Calibur 3, and I'm pretty much in Soul Calibur 3 mode because of the fact that that was the last Soul Calibur game that I played in the series before I received 4 for Christmas. So I was kind of still in that whole mode there, and it was a different transition. It was something that it wasn't easy getting used to the transition between 3 and 4 because, well, in 3 there was a lot of differences. Like you could move faster, for an example. On 4 you really can't move that fast. But I'm not here to talk about mechanics. The thing I'm here to talk about is I'm talking about the online perspective of it, which I thought that the whole online factor of that game was really cool. Because I mean, you can fight people online, and considering the fact that I'm no good at Street Fighter games, I didn't really get the chance to do that when I rented Street Fighter 4. Yeah, I'm sure that comes as a shock to a lot of people that I'm pretty fail at Street Fighter games. But anyway, back to the point. So I was online a couple of days ago with, and I was fighting with the only character that I actually know how to fight with, which was Raphael. If you're a fan of the series, you might know what I'm talking about. If not, then he uses a rapier as his weapon. So, or a rapier, however you want to call it, pronounce it. And he's the only character I really know how to use because of the fact that when I was on Soul Calibur 3, I used the created weapons for the characters that didn't make it to Soul Calibur 4. So, I wasn't really used to using the regular weapons. Hold on 1 second, did I get everything so far? Yes, I did. Quick note while I'm stopped. This area is home to the Wood Cyclops in the daytime on Dryad Day. So, and it's actually the first area that you really run into besides Jad Desert, where you can run into a Cyclops pretty commonly. So if you want to find it, that's fine. It has some good drops, but nothing that I care about at this point. So where was I now? Oh, yeah, I was playing online with Raphael, and my brothers are watching me play because we were kind of like taking turns online and stuff like that. So they're watching me play, and it dawns on them that I'm losing. I lost like 5 straight matches or something ridiculous like that. And so they're like, why are you playing online if you're just gonna lose a bunch of times? And I'm thinking, oh wow, that's a shocker. Normally Luna Elemental is pretty good against plant enemies. This ought to do the trick. If he will ever come down from the ceiling! Yeah, take that. Okay, so where was I? Oh, right. It dawns on them that I lost 5 straight, and so they're like, why would you be online if you're not attempting to win? And I'm like, dude, seriously, is it really that much of a question? And like, they didn't understand why I was, you know, like reading them the riot act there. I was essentially, the reason why I was online is was just to have fun and, you know, just to screw around with the whole function because, well, I had never been online in a fighting game before and enjoyed it. I won't even talk about my Street Fighter 4 experience because that was just so terrible. I'm not even gonna talk about it. Anyway, so they're still trying to figure out why I was on there, and it's like they couldn't understand that I was on the game just to have fun, and I wasn't on the game, you know, to win. I mean, I can't really blame them, given, you know, their age and everything like that. But really, that's it kind of ties into something that I wanted to talk about, especially about like the commentary that I've been doing on here. Thing is that I've already received a question from someone. I don't know if I mentioned this in an update or something to that effect, but I already received a question from someone. I think I mentioned this already, now that I think about it. But I have already received a question about how I do my commentary and everything, like what I use for all of that stuff, and I'll go over all of that stuff at a later time, because I'm planning on making a tutorial for all of that stuff. Not right now, but eventually. Dear God, volatile substances ahead. These guys, I'm gonna stop for a second for just to note these guys. These are bumpkins. Yes, I did say bumpkin. And if you saw there, you may have seen it, but there, that was a better example. They explode. They take their experience and their lucre with them when they explode. Which really sucks, to be honest with you. I mean, seriously, I already had enough traumatizing problems when I was watching that Punkin' Chunkin' special on the Science Channel, and I'm listening to the hillbillies sitting there going, "Yeehaw! Welcome back to Punkin' Chunkin'! Who says we can't stuff these pumpkins with 10 pounds worth of gunpowder before we huck them halfway across the state of Nebraska? Come on, you'll enjoy it!" That was the worst Western accent ever. Anyway, let me go back to my thing I was trying to tie in about commentary. Does this do anything? Didn't think so. Let me go back to my whole commentary thing. No, I don't want Undine, and I don't want items. I want Salamander. There we go. So, going back to the whole thing, by the way, I lost the rest of the matches online, if you were wondering. Though, I don't know why you'd wonder, because, well, I already told you I'm fail at... So I was failing pretty hardcore at Soul Calibur before there. But, anyway, going back to that, going back to the whole commentary thing that I was talking about. I wanted to talk about how, oh, you jerk. I want to talk about commentary a little bit, because I haven't really gotten into that, and I want to kind of provide something to people who may be wondering. Man, they're all dropping, aren't they? People who may be wondering how my commentary works and how I record my commentary and all of that stuff. Sorry, I had to check the treasure list real quick to make sure I was getting everything. The thing with commentary is that the first thing that you have to do before you even attempt to start making your commentary or anything like that, the first thing that you have to do is understand like what you enjoy hearing in commentary. Like when you listen to another YouTuber, let's just say it's your favorite YouTuber. I don't know who you would have, but just think of a YouTuber that you really enjoy listening to and watching, and the ones that do commentary, obviously. But think of them, and think of what about them it is that you enjoy. Oh, quick note real quick, let me get out my sickle. These weeds can be cut down for a bunch of potent posies, blinkweeds, and tonestones. It's not bad enough that they have Punkin' Chunkin' in here. They also have more weed than the state of California. That's just great, game. Anyway, let's go back to what I was talking about, since I keep getting interrupted rudely by the game being crazy. So going back to the commentary, you want to find out what it is that you enjoy in commentary before you do any commentary of your own. Because if you don't know what it is that you enjoy hearing in commentary, then you won't know what you'll want to do when you do commentary. The main way that I learned how to do commentary is that I pretty much just took a lot of the stuff that my favorite YouTube commentators do. Like I took a lot from H.C. Bailey, I took a lot from SSOH PKC, I took a lot from Nintendo Capri Sun, took some from Octane Blue, but I'll get into him in a second. He's gonna hate me after this one, even though he's probably been the most supportive person on YouTube for me thus far. He's gonna hate me after this one. Anyway, let me just go. Am I going the right way? Yes, I want to go this way. Okay. I have to keep checking back and forth. I should probably just keep talking. So anyway, once you know what type of commentary you enjoy the most, you'll want to use that. You'll want to take that and kind of, sort of, get yourself used to that whole style of commentating over that, because there's a different. It's kind of different for people who want to commentate over video games. You have to kind of practice it first before you can't just say, okay, I want to commentate, and so you just get right on the recorder and start recording and recording commentary. You have to practice a little bit beforehand, like before you start recording with commentary. So I mean, I can understand it if you're in like the middle of a game and you want to commentate, but really, if you're close enough to the end of the game you may just want to finish off, like if you're close enough to the end of a playthrough, you may just want to finish that playthrough off before you move on to commentary for your next thing, because I mean, it's a good idea to start early with commentary, but you'll also want to make sure that you're excuse me. You also want to make sure that you're not like saying make sure that you're saying something when you're commentating, because the problem that a lot of YouTubers face when they go ahead and attempt to commentate over video games is that they face a problem with what to say and when to say it. I mean, I've watched, since I started commentating, I've watched several different channels worth of people that were commentating over their videos. And I can tell you right now, I've seen ones that talk too little, I've seen ones that talk too much. You kind of have to find a good balance, and the thing with that is that you won't know until you practice a little bit beforehand. That's the best advice I can really give for people who want to commentate, is that make sure that you practice a little bit before you get into it too much. This isn't a problem if you already talk to yourself before you, while you're playing the games. It isn't a problem, but you know, if you're not so used to talking out loud like I used to be, well, really nothing, because like my channel description says, I pretty much talk to myself in order to provide these videos for you guys. But anyway, if you're not used to talking out loud for long periods of time, you may want to get used to that, because it's something that you're going to have to do repeatedly if you start doing commentary. So that's the first and foremost thing that you have to do before you get into anything with commentary. Wow, how did that not hit him? Take that. Okay. So that's the first thing that I can talk about for commentary. A second tip, and this is a big tip that I can give for a lot of people that are commentating, and I find that this is a big problem with people who oh, actually, hold on one second before I get to that second tip. Elena is getting a level up, and if you notice, before I level her up, she's going to level 36. So now, if I level up, no, I said if I level up, there we go. If I level up and I level up Sage type, she will get the final class change that she's going to get in the game. Oh, thank God. Thought this would never happen. So she gets Bishop, and that gives me a bunch of magic defense buff. It's like basically it increases your buffs. I don't think I've shown her class changes yet on screen, but anyway, it increases how long your buffs stay on for a while. It increases your healing light effectiveness. It increases the magic attack of your light spell, which I don't know if I've said this already, but Wisp is the best spirit in the game as far as attacking goes, because very few monsters actually resist Wisp. And it also gives you that 8 light spirits hit thing. We won't be getting into that for quite some time now, but when we get into it, oh boy, you guys are in for a treat then. So, is there something up here? No, there isn't. What is hitting? Oh, okay. I'm just checking to make sure I got all the treasure chests, because I wouldn't want to be leaving anything behind here.